Well, good morning, Phantoms. It's Friday morning, early, about 6:50 in the morning. School has not obviously started yet. There's not even too many people in the parking lot yet. But I wanted to kind of take you on a little journey with me. So every morning when I get to school, I take a walk around the building. Unless there's, I have a meeting or something like that. But most days, rain or shine, snow, sleet or hail, you can call me the mailman, I guess. I take a little walk around the building. And there's a few things that I do as I'm walking around the building. I think about my day ahead. I think, do I have emails that I need to send? Do I have meetings today? Is there any phone calls that I need to return? I'm thinking about those things. I'm also thinking about the kids. Are there kids that I need to touch base with? Are there staff members that need me to stop in their rooms and answer some questions, or maybe just do some observations and check and see how things are going? So there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about as I'm walking around the building. A couple other things that I think about. I'm going to actually turn my camera around here. Actually, I can't, I guess. So I'll turn it this way. As I'm walking around the building, I just kind of look at the layout of the building. Is there garbage laying around? Are there things that I'm noticing that have to be taken care of? So just an example, one of the things yesterday as I was walking around the building, I'm going to turn my camera around here, I noticed that there were lots of these little rocks from our landscaping that were scattered around. And I made it a point on the announcements to let the kids know, hey, that's not for walking through. Those are there to protect the plants and make the building look nice. Let's take pride in our building. So I noticed things like that. If I see some staff members walking in, like I did see Mrs. Sternbach walking in over there, I'll maybe have a chance to say good morning to them as I'm heading around the building. Tonight, or this morning, it's actually a really beautiful morning. The sun is just coming up. The parking lot lights just went off a few minutes ago. In fact, if you didn't notice this, our parking lot lights and our building lights are actually timed for when the sun rises and sun sets. It's all on a computer system, and it changes every day because the sun rises and sets at a different time each day. So it actually saves us electricity because we don't have to turn them on early or worry about them not getting on in time. So they're on just at the right amount of time. It's kind of a neat system that we have. Another thing I want to show you as I'm walking around in the back of the building now is we just had a new sign installed at our back entrance, our activities entrance. So check that out. That's a nice new W that we have on the back there. We're going to get that lit up at night, so it looks really nice as well. Kind of proud of that. Something simple, but looks cool. Makes our building look nice. Heading around, and you can see in the parking lot here, there's a few teachers already here. Look at that. Ready to get their day going. Remember, their school day doesn't start till 7:30 for them. They don't have to be here till 7:30. But yet we have those early risers. They're here. They want to get things done, get their day set up just like I'm doing right now. Heading around to the back of the building now. I always like to look over at the pond. There's a lot of times animals and birds and things hanging out there. If you look at it right now, there's a good amount of steam coming off it, and there's a goose flying up as we speak. It's just kind of a pretty beautiful morning just to see the things that are going on here at school. So other things that I think about as I'm walking around the building in the morning might be personal things too. I might be thinking about my family or my kids, or maybe something I had to get done over the weekend. It's not just school, because there's a lot going on in people's lives that they're thinking about. So I might thinking about, one of my kids has a big test today. I hope they do well. Or I might be thinking about my son who plays football, and I hope that his football game goes well tonight. So there's lots of things that I think about as I'm walking around the building. It is kind of a nice little building too to walk around. It's not too big to walk around, but not too small that I don't get much time to think about what I'm going to do throughout the day. And it's quiet. It's very quiet. I get to hear the birds chirp. I just heard a blue jay calling in the distance. Mr. Brain gives me a hard time because I can recognize birds by their calls and their sounds. I can hear a couple of geese. There they go. Yep. But that's thanks to my dad. When I was a kid, my dad, and he still does, he loves birds. We had many, many bird feeders around our house. We kind of grew up in the country a little bit, so there's a woods behind our house, and he would put out bird seed. He still does to this day. Lots and lots of bird seed. And he'd have his binoculars there, and we'd take pictures of the birds. I always had a dream as a kid that I'd go out and put some bird seed in my hand and let a bird eat out of my hands. Never quite had the patience for that. But I do love my birds. My wife gives me a hard time about it too. We could be driving down the road and I'll see an eagle or a hawk or something flying above, and I got to check it out. And she's like, "Get your eyes back on the road." Yeah, I know. I got to make sure I do that too. But for whatever reason, birds are just very interesting to me. So thanks, Dad, for that. You probably hear about those on the announcements quite a bit too, that I'm talking about birds and things like that. Oh, the other thing I have to think about today, it's Friday. I almost forgot. I got to think about my Friday funnies for the day. I usually try and come up with a theme for them. What should today's theme be? Maybe I'll see if I can find some autumn-related jokes, seeing as it's the beginning of fall and getting ready for that. So maybe some scarecrows or pumpkin jokes or something like that. We'll see what I come up with. Maybe you have to tune back in for announcements and see what I came up with. One more thing I wanted to point out as we're walking around the building here is, if you get a chance to come around the building, check out all of the nice new trees that we planted. We still have a few more to put in, but we've put in probably 15 to 16 trees, and I think we have 7 or 8 more to go yet. And I know that they always say when you plant a tree, the best time to plant it is 20 years ago, and the second best time to plant it is today. So I couldn't have planted them 20 years ago, but I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about what this building's going to look like in 20 years from now. And I wanted to just make sure that it looks gorgeous and beautiful and set for whoever is going to be here in the next 15 to 20 years, so that they can enjoy the shade from the trees that we put in today. All right, well, Phantoms, that kind of wraps up our tour around the building and gives you an idea of how I start my day each and every day here at the intermediate school. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend, and go Phantoms.